My name is Mariagrazia Buttitta. I'm also known as Maria here in the States. I'm originally from Sicily, Italy, and at the age of 21, I moved to New Jersey with my parents. My journey with cone dystrophy was a challenging one. At the age of 14, I received a diagnosis of cone dystrophy. And I say finally received this diagnosis because growing up in Sicily, teachers, doctors, they had no idea what was wrong with me. And, at some point, I also received a lot of diagnoses that were not accurate. But again, finally, I did receive that diagnosis of cone dystrophy. So cone dystrophy is a bit complex and it's also a bit rare. According to the National Organization for Rare Disorders, cone dystrophy supposedly affects 1 in 30,000 individuals in the United States. So cone dystrophy affects the cone cells in the retina, which is the portion of the eye that helps us see in bright condition. Rods, on the other hand, help us see in dark and dim light. So some of the symptoms that I experience with cone dystrophy are things like photophobia, which is that sensitivity to light, and that's why I'm wearing my sunglasses today. I also experience nystagmus, which is an involuntary eye movement. I experience color blindness, or also known as color deficiency. And in my case, I'm able to distinguish lighter colors from darker colors. And so over the years, I have developed some eye floaters, and I don't know if it's necessarily a cause of cone dystrophy, but certainly something I'm also dealing with currently. So again, I have that 2200 vision in dim light. So in summary, I would say that there are a lot of factors that impact my vision. And those things are new environments, new details, and the amount of light that I'm exposed to. And again, when I say light, it could be natural light, indoor lighting, outdoor lighting, sun, etc. So again, I can go from 2200 vision so I can go from 2200 vision to not being able to see anything in just a matter of seconds. A lot of things that I use personally to help me with my blindness and my eye conditions are things like my white cane, technology, and obviously my sunglasses are really important to me. And I'll start off with the cane. I use a white cane, which I named Casper, like a friendly ghost. And, personally, I find that anything that's out of our experience is often feared by a lot of people. And so I know when people often see me with a cane, maybe they're a little bit hesitant and they don't know how to kind of approach me. But I say I am my most comfortable and confident when I'm with my white cane, because not only does it help me navigate, but it also lets the people around me know that, hey, I'm, blind or legally blind. As far as the technology is concerned, I use a lot of different things that are really helpful. For example, on my computer, I use a reading software called JAWS, and it's very common amongst the blind and visually impaired. I also use things like magnification on the computer. Me personally, I like to dim all the lights on the computer as well. But there are a lot of great things too out there, and I use a CCTV, or maybe on my phone, for example, on my iPhone, I have a couple of apps that I found really helpful. One of them is the KNFB reader. So for example, if somebody were to hand me a business card, I can just have access to that quick print by just taking a quick picture, and it will read it back to me. And then the last thing I want to talk about is the importance of my sunglasses. I talked a little bit about cone dystrophy today, and light to me is extremely painful. And so I always like to explain cone dystrophy. Imagine somebody pointing a flashlight in your eyes. That would be a really painful experience. But someone recently actually gave me a better example. And they said, imagine going to the movie theater and sitting there and watching a movie. And then once the movie's out, you're stepping outside in this bright room, or even the outdoors. And so imagine cone dystrophy being that 10 times, more painful. But that's sort of like, that's my experience every time. That cone dystrophy is very tricky. I never know when my vision is going to change. And so cone dystrophy and blindness in general is very misunderstood by a lot of people. So I'm often questioned. People question my status as legally blind because maybe I can see some things over others. And so I think there's been sort of this idea in people's head, okay, maybe she's faking her blindness. And so I think over the years, that's sort of something that's been a little bit painful to hear at times. This idea that people who are blind or visually impaired are extremely needy, can't live a normal life, they can't work, they can't be independent, and etc. So again, we really want to be careful not to generalize the entire blind and low vision population. In my case, that I live a successful life. I do work. I am independent. So blindness isn't necessarily a limitation or a barrier. The only thing I really cannot do at this point is drive, but I can't think of anything else that I can accomplish. When we experience challenges in our life, there's this idea that maybe we need to overcome it. And I always say life isn't necessarily about overcoming things. It's about learning to manage our situation. In my case, I can't overcome my blindness, my cone dystrophy. And maybe I can't overcome my anxiety. Who knows, right? Genetics is something, maybe it's in my genes, right? What I can do is I can invest time and resources to help me live a successful life. And I can invest time in my mental health, which is exactly what I do. I, try to surround myself with, mom, family, friends, dog. I exercise, meditate. So I put in the hard work every single day to live. So just a quick background about myself. I'm actually a national certified counselor. I'm the author of my memoir, which is called Now I See How I Battled Blindness, Mental Illness, an Espresso Habit, and Live to Tell the Tale. I'm also a motivational speaker and a passionate mental health and disability advocate. So if you would like to get in touch with me, the easiest way is to go on my website, and that's www.embracingyourdifferences.com. And there you'll be able to locate all my social media platforms like Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, or you can always email me at embracingdifferences01@gmail.com.